On this day, the 29th day of December, 3 more days before we have a new year with new hopes. Kai is hoping and praying that I become the next member of Parliament for North Abaco. And if God's willing, His will be done, I shall be the member of Parliament. And what would I hope for to bring change? I see so much blatant disrespect for law and order by the persons that sworn out to protect and to serve. The police force and defense forces being a nightmare for Kai Mills and Abaconians. When 4 policemen could lock me up, write a statement to say I try to use my taxi of all things to put them in fear of their lives. Don't even know these people. Don't have any hate towards them. Why would Kai lose his brains? But as Member of Parliament, I will confront that. But my biggest challenge that I would like to see in my time in office is that the people of the Bahamas, especially Abaco, I see it so blatant here in Abaco, that God has given Bahamians the Bahamas. God has given Abaco to Abaconians, and nobody should benefit from the Bahamas more than Bahamians. I'm here today at the airport, and Baker's Bay has reopened. Corruption started again. You call road traffic, I'm a taxi driver, and there's 2 places that people go through, really, in droves. These are the people that has Fortune 500 companies, big money. They go to Baker's Bay, and they go to the Abaco Club. The government of Bahamas has given Baker's Bay everything that Bahamians only would dream of. Everything free. And they're trying to take the transport, not trying, they are disrespecting all laws. You imagine putting people off a $40 million jet into a vehicle that is not licensed to be on the road of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and you've been doing this for years. The Baker's Bay is closed and reopened, and the saga continues. Road traffic is just a rubber stamp. I will go and report this to road traffic. The first thing they will do is call Dr. Livingston Marshall. If a taxi driver said that somebody is blatantly breaking the law, you don't call Dr. Livingston Marshall. You're not working for Dr. Livingston Marshall. But that's so much power and how the disrespect starts. They start calling Dr. Marshall to get a handout. You don't call Dr. Marshall if a bus is busing people for years and don't have any license. You do your job. And no answer. Right there, I can show you right there. The bus is right there. Line up, getting ready to take people. And it's been happening since Baker's Bay reopened. Another thing I would like to see as the Member of Parliament for North Abaco, what Darren ought to be doing, when Baker's reopened, they should have done what the law says, that if a Bahamian is qualified for the job. We don't need to bring no foreigners in. And all the foreigners they're bringing in to take these jobs, Bahamians could do the job. The government of the Bahamas, a black government, black prime minister, black ministers, has caused Baker's Bay to set up an apartheid state right in my backyard of Abaco. It has been so disrespectful to Kai Mills that these guys, Dr. Livingston Marshall, had the power to go to Emmerich Seymour to bring up trumped-up charges against Kai Mills and to send me to Fox Hill. So I know the power of that money, that corrupt money of Baker's Bay, that you dare not speak ill against a corrupt product called Baker's Bay. But it's not the owners of Baker's Bay. You think these rich Americans would like to know that they're being transported from left to right and an illegal operation? They operate a ferry service for 12, 13 years with no certificate, no ferry, no transportation. All they gotta do is pay the one at the top, and the one to the bottom will just speak like I am, and nothing happened. That thing called integrity is missing in this F&M government and government of the Bahamas. They have never put Bahamians first. They put party first. That is why so many of them, including this F&M government, when it comes up to election, you ask yourself, they would ask themselves, their constituents would ask them, what have you done for us lately? Nothing. So why re-elect? You ask Abaco and Abaconians, what have James Albury done after the hurricane, before the hurricane? What has Darren Henfield? He is even more important than James. He is Dr. Minnie's sidekick. He is a minister that sits at the table of decision making. You ask yourself, North Abaco, what have Darren done to improve the quality of life? More important, have you seen him in House Assembly? Have you heard him speak on anything that would help us to rebound after a horrific hurricane? Have he sent anything? Oh, I forgot. Some old clothes he sent down by his sister's church. They give you old used clothes. That is all he's done. And Christmas toys for our kids. Old used toys. Old white doll babies. That is what he has represented in the past 3 years. But my wish is to see that the black majority stop being treated like the minority. Why can the Prime Minister of the country run a country in the first day of him being sworn in, and people that works at the Abaco Club, all the white patrons, has to be their boss? Why did Baker's Bay reopen and this F&M government give all the key managing position to all white expatriates? Why? I said it earlier. It's called black on black racism. The black brutes at the top do not want you to make that salary. I was a part of that. I started at Baker's Bay at $65,000 a year. Hubert Ingram told me personally at the airport, I got you fired. It was me that got you fired. I talked to management. That one hurt because I supported him. But he said $65,000 a year. Caillou was making twice as much as an administrator that has been working for 30 years. So I had to set them up, to set you up, to fire you. That is black on black racism. Hubert Ingram has never voted for himself in his life. Kai supported him. But the first thing he did when I got a good gig, he made sure that I stayed at the bottom of the pile. I would not do that to anybody that support my flight to sit at the table. That's all I'm doing. That's all I want to do. To sit at the table of decision making to make sure that we get exactly what the white expatriates is getting at the Abaco Club, at Baker's Bay, at Boat Harbor. Penland is the only black leader that sought to make black people better. There has been not one black leader since Penland to do so. You imagine, I gotta laugh at this one. You imagine Lyndon Oscar Penland gathered the troops, all the Caribbean leaders together to start the release of Malcolm Mandela because of the brutes of South Africa, the way the whites were treating the blacks in South Africa. And the F&M government, the first thing they've done, we have in the Abaco Club, we had at Baker's Bay, we got in Boat Harbor, South Africans that are running these regime. Boy, this one is deep. We can leave that one. But you imagine that South Africans are all the way from South Africa running these plantations in Abaco? Surely, when the government of the Bahamas saw that they were from South Africa, they would have taken a big, good look at these people. But they're in Baker's Bay, Abaco Club, Boat Harbor, running the Negroes, just like the South Africa of old. Kai said it's unacceptable. This land should be governed by Bahamians, especially this crucial economical time in our life. This one is Kai Care giving you information to think about.